Hello and welcome back to another breaking news update. My name is Jimmy Boyd and you are watching Boyd News. I want to thank you so much for tuning in today. I want to bring you an update on what's going on down in Yemen with the Houthis. I've got more information coming out. We've had some airstrikes that were launched. But the big news here is what you see on your screen. I've got news coming out that the IRGC, that's the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, that's Iran's armed forces, is on the ground in Yemen right now. Okay, I've got a video up here in just a moment of U.S. Navy's Vice Admiral Brad Cooper, and he is on the 60 Minutes show being interviewed. And the host asks him if the IRGC is on the ground in Yemen, and he says yes. 100% confirmed the IRGC is on the ground in Yemen, providing intelligence, literally helping the Houthis target ships. Now, this is major escalation here because Iran is slowly, more over time, getting involved in what's going on over here in the Middle East. And like I've been telling you, the minute that Iran gets involved, it's going to be a major war. Okay. And this is going to be the US against Iran, potentially other European countries as well if they get involved. But this could turn into a major, major war in the Middle East if we get involved in a war with Iran. So this is very dangerous that the IRGC is on the ground now because the US is consistently launching strikes inside of Yemen. And what will happen if these IRGC members get taken out? Okay, how will Iran respond to that? Will they respond kindly or not? I would think not, but we'll have to see. So this is a very scary video I'm going to show you here in just a moment. But also, yeah, we've got information that there has been another attack on another commercial vessel. Okay, and we have airstrikes inside of Yemen as well due to those that attack on that ship. And then we also have some news here that CENTCOM is putting out showing that the U.S. Navy intercepted a boat that had Iranian weapons shipments that were intended for the Houthis. So we're going to go over that in just a moment. First, let's take a look at this video. It's pretty crazy. It's very scary what's happening here. So let's watch.
Are there members of Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard Corps that are actually on the ground in Yemen providing intelligence and targeting?
The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps is inside Yemen, and they are serving side by side with the Houthis, advising them and providing targeting information.
And so what have we done to degrade that capability?
Yeah, that will obviously end up being a policy decision. Our role at this point is to simply be ready and continue to be aggressive in exercising our right to self-defense.
Are there members of Iran?
All right, so there you have it. As you heard him say there, the IRGC members are on the ground working side by side with the Houthis. And he said there that the response to this is going to be more of a policy decision. So that means the the Biden administration would have to order some sort of strike or something like that. And you know, based on whatever the response is going to be, that Biden would decide on Iran. But there's only so much they can do to Iran. You know, Iran is already sanctioned to death. The one of the only last things we can do is strike Iran and go to war with Iran. Okay, there's not much else the United States can do here. So they're trying to stay out of this war, but it's not working very well because Iran is consistently getting more involved here. And like I said, you know, Iran at some point will get involved if this thing continues on, which it's for sure going to go on for at least a few more months. Probably going to continue on even after that. Highly likely that Iran's going to get involved in this war, which obviously they already are. But actually themselves getting involved directly, this is one step further to that. So let's go ahead and move on to the next subject here. So this is on CENTCOM, okay? So they have a February 15th summary of Red Sea activities. This just came out on February 15th at approximately 4:30 p.m. Sanaa time. An anti-ship ballistic missile was launched from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen into the Gulf of Aden. The missile was headed towards MV Lycka Vitos, a Barbados-flagged UK-owned and operated bulk carrier. The ship reported no injuries but very minor damage in the attack and continued its voyage. So apparently it was hit. If it says that it had minor damage, I'm assuming this ship got hit. So once again, I just reported a ship the other day. I can't remember the name of it, but we just had another ship that was attacked the other day in the Red Sea that I just reported on, and now we've got another attack here. So additionally, between the hours of 3:10 p.m. and 8 p.m. Sanaa time, U.S. Central Command forces successfully conducted 2 self-defense strikes against 3 mobile anti-ship cruise missiles, ASCM, in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen that were prepared to launch against ships in the Red Sea. So it looks like we launched more strikes inside of Yemen again. And it says here, CENTCOM identified these mobile missiles in Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen and determined they presented an imminent threat to U.S. Navy ships and merchant vessels in the region. These actions will protect freedom of navigation and make international waters safer and more secure for U.S. Navy and merchant vessels. So, more attacks continuing in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. Doesn't look like that's going to stop anytime soon, which we have been told by the Houthis directly that they will continue these attacks on these ships. And it looks like now that the Irgc is getting involved. They may have higher capabilities here of tracking on these ships, because I'm going to be doing a report here very soon as well that the U.S. launched a cyber attack on the MV Bashad. If you didn't hear about that, it's a ship that's been floating off the sea of the Gulf of Aden for quite some time now. I think for a couple years, and supposedly Iran claims that this ship is a military ship to deter pirate attacks from Somalia and places in Africa. But the U.S. is accusing them of using it as a spy ship to target vessels and give information intelligence to the Houthis on land so they can fire their missiles and better target these ships. So I'm going to do a video about that. But definitely, we're seeing more involvement here with Iran, okay? They're getting involved with these ships. Now we got IRGC on the ground in Yemen. So this is a really big deal here, okay? The more that Iran gets involved, the higher possibility we're going to have a major hot war in the Middle East, okay? Much worse than what we're seeing now. So this is another post here on U.S. Central Command. So these are pictures right here. This is a boat that was seized by the U.S. Navy. These are all like looks like explosives here, and all kinds of look like some radar equipment here, or what, I don't know what all this is, but lots of military equipment that was on its way to the Houthis in Yemen, okay? So here's when the Coast Guard took over that ship. So pretty nuts here. There it is, okay? So it says here, CENTCOM intercepts Iranian weapon shipment intended for Houthis. A U.S. Coast Guard cutter forward deployed to the U.S. Central Command area of responsibility seized advanced conventional weapons and other lethal aid originating in Iran and bound to Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen from a vessel in the Arabian Sea on January 28th. The U.S. Coast Guard Sentinel-class fast response cutter U.S. CGC Clarence Sutphin Jr., assigned to U.S. Naval Forces Central Command, located the vessel and boarded it in the Arabian Sea. The boarding team discovered over 200 packages that contained medium-range ballistic missiles, components, explosives, unmanned underwater surface vehicles components, military-grade communication and network equipment, anti-tank guided missile launcher assemblies, and other military components. The direct or indirect supply, sale, or transfer of such aid violates UN Security Council Resolution 2216 as extended and renewed by Resolutions 2675 and 2707. This is yet another example of Iran's malign activity in the region, said General Michael Eric Correa, CENTCOM commander. Their continued supply of advanced conventional weapons to the Houthis is in direct violation of international law and continues to undermine the safety of international shipping and free flow of commerce. CENTCOM is committed to working with our allies and partners to counter the flow of Iranian lethal aid in the region by all lawful means, including U.S. and UN sanctions and through interdictions. So it says here that this ship apparently was seized January 28th. This might have been the boat that I reported on, because this was around that time frame a few weeks ago. There was a ship that was, I think they call this a dhow, and it was on its way to the Houthis in Yemen, and it came from Iran. Okay, and I think I reported on this, I believe, and this looks like an update to that situation. Okay, they're giving more information because before they actually didn't give very much information on it. So maybe this is an update to this, I'm assuming. So it doesn't look like this was something that happened recently. It was a few weeks ago from this ship that sailed. Okay, so that's the information on that. So pretty crazy what's happening over here. Things are definitely getting crazier and crazier over here in the Middle East. And like I said, Iran is continuing to get more involved. Okay. And here's another example of how involved they're getting. Okay. I just did a video recently as well of Iran simulating an attack on an Israeli airbase. And they also were warning Israel that they had the capabilities to launch ballistic missiles from their Navy ships now, apparently. And they were warning Israel that they would literally just sail over there in a way, and they could attack these major air bases in Israel that Israel is using for their operations in Gaza. So Iran is doing everything they can directly to get involved now. They weren't doing this so much before; they were just utilizing their proxies. But I think what's happening here is Iran is realizing that their proxies are not as effective as they thought they were going to be. Especially when the U.S. and the U.K. and all these countries that are involved have obviously major capabilities and fighter jets and things like that. That it's a lot harder to combat against this. So maybe they're starting to get involved themselves because Iran has the real hardcore weaponry. Okay, they're the head of the snake here, like I've been saying. So will Iran continue to get involved here, and what will happen if these IRGC members get taken out in Yemen? Will Iran respond to that? Will they comment on this? I don't know if they've commented on this as of yet, but very scary what's happening here because we've got the U.S. coming out and admitting that the IRGC is on the ground in Yemen. So that's major news. That basically means that the U.S. is fighting against Iran now. Technically, they are. They're not just fighting the proxies anymore. They're fighting Iran directly, but in another country. So I hope you got something out of this. That's going to be it for the Houthi update in Yemen. So I appreciate you being here. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video. And if you enjoyed this content, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the notification bell. That way YouTube can notify you. So with that, I hope you all have a great day. Thanks again for tuning in. Everybody take care and God bless. And we'll see you in the next one.